The Power of Charm: How to Win Anyone Over in Any Situation by Brian Tracy and Ron Arden, read by Avicenna. Chapter 1: What is charm? Listen to the description of charm by someone who did not expect it and may have been resistant to its effect before succumbing. He projected totally in the moment, focused on each person he met. He executed warm. He seemed a man genuinely interested in liking you and not concerned with whether or not you like him. How much of that was genetic and how much developed, I can only speculate. All I know is that I was, in that brief moment of meeting, totally charmed by a person I neither agreed with nor even expected to like. These remarks are by professional speaker Mark Sanborn commenting on meeting President Bill Clinton. When we refer to charm, we are not talking about table manners, good looks, or being a snappy dresser. We are talking about something much more profound. True charm is something that goes beyond mere appearance. It's that ability some people have to create extraordinary rapport that makes others in the presence feel exceptional. Charm has an engaging quality to which we respond powerfully and emotionally and almost instinctively. Nature or nurture. You might be saying to yourself, but you have to be born with charm, and if you're not, you're out of luck. We used to believe that too, but in all the many years that we have researched, experimented with, and taught the art and craft to the person communication, we have found much evidence to the contrary. There is no question that some people are naturally charming, which gives them an advantage, but charm is not some mystical ingredient that is found in our genes. Charm is the result of using specific skills that most of us know little or nothing about, and this means charm can be learned. In the pages ahead, you will learn how to become a completely charismatic person, exerting a magnetic attraction and influence on the people you meet. Your tools for charming others. From now on, think about charm as a personality quality and skill you can develop by doing the things that charming people do and being the kind of person that charming people are. Chapter 2: Charm in Action. Ron Arthur relates this personal story as a testament to the power of charm. It was back in the 70s that my awareness of the power of charm really took root. A friend of ours in Los Angeles phoned to invite my wife Nikki and me to reception for Ivan Barold and his wife Marianne. They had recently arrived here from South Africa. Ivan, a handsome devil, a good actor and friend, is someone I had known during my theater days in South Africa. We arrived at their home that Saturday afternoon and joined the crowd in the garden. People were milling around the bar. Of course, Ivan and Marianne. We greeted each other warmly, and then the four of us proceeded to fill up at the inviting buffet tables. Later that afternoon, I saw Nikki and Ivan talking to each other, and I noticed that my dear, normally level-headed wife seemed entranced by him. I thought, what on earth is going on? She's behaving like a teeny booper? An irrational pang of jealousy shot through me, and I hurried over to join them. The power of fascination. Soon after, I said to Nikki, what is so fascinating about Ivan that you look mesmerized by him? She thought for a moment and said, when he speaks to you, it's a stuff. You aren't a cocoon with him. No one exists in the world for him but you. And when he listens as tough. Every word you say is important and needs his undivided attention. When I thought about it, I realized she was absolutely right. Ever since I have known him, he has displayed that same quality when he is with anyone. He radiates charm continuously. That's why Ivan is very much a ladies' man and very much a man's man, too. A lifelong interest leads to these simple rules. Thought this even happened more than 20 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. As my dear wife reminds me, my first deep interest in charm seems to happen about then, and my interest grew. I set about studying and identifying the behaviors that people of charm use. I questioned many of these individuals to get an idea of how they feel about their impact on others. One of the fascinating things I discovered was that those who charm get great pleasure in giving others pleasures. I set about reducing what I had learned into identifiable and manageable lessons. Each lesson having its own set of simple rules and techniques that are easy to understand and just easy to learn and to do. Brian Tracy and I have successfully trained many others to use this skill, whether for professional or social reason, and now you too can learn how to control the dynamic of your own impact on people. Once you discover how to wield the power of charm, you will have at your disposal one of the most valuable elements for success: how to make people feel like a million. Your tools for charming others. Think of the most charming person you know, observe the person's behavior, try to identify what he does when being charming, and watch the effect it has on the others, and use what you observe and learn as motivation to become. In your own way, of course, just like your model, charming, persuasive, and admirable. Chapter 3. What charm can do. Charm is captivating. Just as the petals of flower unfold and open to the warming light of the sun, so do we unfold and open to the enchantment of charm. Charm acts as the great attractor, drawing us toward its magnetic source. Tokosa, a 20th century wise woman. Those who have charm usually get listened to and often get extra change. They are given opportunities others may never get, and they can be forgiven for things others will be crucified for. They will be told things that others may never hear. People make excuses for them, go out of their way for them, and always give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's face it, you probably know someone who has written you in the very compelling and profound fashion. If so, you have been on receiving end of someone's charm offensive, feeling like a chameleon. At some time or another, we have all met someone who has the talent to sweep you away with their charm, and they seem to truly like you. They value your opinion, they devoted all their attention to you and nobody else, and when they were with you, no one but you existed for them. No matter who else was around, they made you feel as though you were the most fascinating and important person they would ever met, and you totally suspended critical judgment for the pleasure of their company. Do you remember how wonderful you felt? I bet you felt like a million. Think what power there is in being able to make somebody feel wonderful about himself. It's unlimited. Great political leaders nurture it, and successful business people cultivate it, and famous entertainers exploit it. Nearly everyone who deals with people can benefit from charm, and anyone wanting to climb the ladder to success should develop it. Anytime, anywhere. What if you were able to create that special feeling for others anytime and anywhere? How valuable do you think that your gift might be in your personal life and your business world? Absolutely priceless, believe me. When you have the power to make people feel special, the rewards are usually close behind. Your tools for charming others. Decide today that you are going to develop the power of charm and practice in your relationship with others, and this decision will open you to all the things you can do to make other people feel wonderful about themselves. And measure your current charm equations. Give yourself a grade from 1 to 10 on how charming you believe you are already, with them being excellent. Then ask someone you know to grade you as well, whether whatever number that person is assigned to you is the true measure. Now you are ready to begin transforming yourself into a genuinely and powerfully charming person. Chapter 4. How to charm anyone. Psychologists tell us that the core of personality is self-esteem, and this has been defined as how much you like yourself. Your self-esteem is the sum total of how important and valuable you feel you are at any moment, and human beings are instantly emotional. They make decisions emotionally and then justify them logically, and people are powerfully affected by their emotional environment, especially the behavior of the people toward them. From infancy, you are conditioned to be hypersensitive to the actions and the reaction of your parent toward you. Often, the dynamic of these early exchanges set you up for life in your relationship with others. Almost everything you do involving others is either to bolster your self-esteem, your inner self of well-being, or to protect you from being diminished by other people or circumstances. The secret of charm. The deepest craving of human nature is the need to feel valued and valuable, and the secret of charm is therefore simple. Make others feel important. 5 ways to be charming, and the more important you make people feel in your presence, the more charming they will perceive you to be. And fortunately, we know how to make people feel wonderful about themselves. And this key behavior can be summarized in 5 as acceptance, appreciation, approval, admiration, and attention. Number 1, acceptance. The greatest gift that you can give other people is the attitude of unconditional positive regard. That is, you accept them in their entirety without limitation. You never criticize or find fault. You are totally accepting of everything about them, and it's as if they were a miracle of nature. This is the starting point of being charming. And how do you express completely acceptance? It is simple. You smile. When you smile with happiness at seeing people, their self-esteem jumps automatically. They feel happy about themselves, they feel important and valuable, and they like the person who is making them feel this way. And they find you to be charming even before you open your mouth. Number 2, appreciation. Whenever you express appreciation to others for something they have done, small or large, their self-esteem increases. They feel more valuable and important, they feel more competent and capable, and their self-image improves and their self-respect soars. And how do you trigger this wonderful feeling in others? It is simple. You say thank you on every occasion for any large or small reason. You make a habit of thanking everyone in your world for everything they do, and thank your secretary for her work, thank your spouse for his help, thank your children for anything they do that you appreciate. And here is the double payoff. Whenever you smile or say thank you to other person, not only does the person's self-esteem feeling of important charm, but so does yours. You actually like yourself more every time you do, or say anything that causes other people to like themselves more. And the more you like yourself, the more you will genuinely like and care about others. The more you like yourself, the less concerned you will be about whether you are making a good impression, and the more naturally charming you will become. Number 3, approval. It is said that babies cry for it, men die for it. Throughout life, all humans have a deep subconscious need for approval of their action and accomplishment. No amount of approval ever satisfies for long. The need is ongoing. Like the need for food and rest, people who continually seek opportunity to express approval are welcome wherever they go. Perhaps the best definition of approval is price. This subject is so important that we will come back to it later. Just remember, whenever you praise other people for something they have done, their self-esteem is elevated. They feel wonderful about themselves, and they find you to be more interesting, perspective, highly likable, and extremely charming. Number 4, admiration. As Abraham Lincoln said, everybody likes a compliment. When you give people a genuine, sincere compliment about the trait, position, or accomplishment, they automatically feel better about themselves. They feel acknowledged and recognized. They feel valuable and important. They like themselves more, and they like you more. Compliment a person in an article of clothing, compliment someone on a trait like a punctuality or a persistence, compliment the person on having won an award or achieved a goal. Compliment for small things as well as large. Always be looking for something to compliment, and each time you find something, the other person will like you more and find you to be charming. Number 5, attention. This is perhaps the most important quality of all, and will be the subject of several subsequent chapters. It is a wonderful, powerful, and wonderful behavior for building self-esteem, and is the key to instant charm. When you pay close attention to other people, the more valuable and important they will feel they are, and the more they will like you. These are the 5 most powerful self-esteem building tools ever discovered. As you master them through practice, you will become one of the most charming and influential people in your social and professional circle. Your tools for charming others. The next time you meet your significant others or even someone you work with, conduct this exercise. Imagine that when you were young, you had a dear friend with whom you shared many of the important emotional experiences of your young life. But years passed and you lost touch. You had no idea where your friend had gone. And one day when you are walking down the street, or maybe you are at a social function, suddenly there he is. You are shocked, amazed, overwhelmed with a flood of memories and affection. Your whole face lights up and all you can think is, it's you. wow, you're so happy to see this person. You feel excited and delighted and grateful and emotional all the time. Now, the next time you meet a person or persons who are important to you, especially loved one or dear friends, create the same feeling and act as if you are rediscovering them after too long absence, as if you were declaring, "There you are." Try it. These special people, as if seeing them makes you incredibly happy. Smile and beam at them, focus all your attention on them, and treat them as if they were the most important person in the world at this moment. No matter who they are, they will think that you are an incredible, charming person. Chapter 5: The Magic of Listening. Your ability to listen well in the social or business conversation can help you as much as any other skill you develop. One of the most important qualities of the leader is the ability to gather information by asking questions and listening closely to what people have to say. Daniel Goleman, the author of The Emotional Intelligence, concluded that your ability to connect emotionally with people, your EQ, is vital to your success and perhaps often more so than your IQ. He defined the most important quality of EQ as empathy, or the ability to be aware of the sensitive to what people say and what they really mean. Howard Gardner of Harvard University has defined this quality as social intelligence, which has been noted at the outset of this book is the highest paid and most respected from the intelligence in our society. And unfortunately, it can be learned just by becoming a good listener. For keys to effective listening, every book, article, or course on this subject ultimately comes to the same conclusion. There are 4 key elements of effective listening. If you can master them, your charm quotient will skyrocket immediately. 1. Listen attentively. Listen without interrupting. Listen in complete silence, as if there is nothing in the world that is more important to you at this moment than what the other person is saying. If someone wants to talk to you, especially at home, immediately discontinue all the other activities and give that person your complete attention. Turn off the television, start a book or newspaper, and focus single-mindedly on what the other person is saying. This behavior will be instantly recognized and appreciated and will give you tremendous emotional power in the conversation. To listen as if you are transfixed by what the other person is saying, imagine that your eyes are sun lamps and you are giving the person's face a fan. When a person is intently listened to by another, he is affected biochemically. His brain releases endorphin, nature's happy drug, which makes him feel good about himself. His self-esteem goes up and he likes himself more above all. He likes to trust and trusts you more by virtue of your listening attentively to him. The payoff is extraordinary. Number 2. Pause before replying. Rather than jumping in as soon as the other person takes a breath, pause for 3 to 5 seconds, allow a silence to exist, and just relax. When you pause, 3 things happen, all of them good. First, you avoid interrupting the other person if he is just pausing to recognize his thoughts before continuing. Second, by pausing, you tell the person that what he said was important and that you are considering it carefully, and this reinforces the personal value of the speaker and causes him to see you as a more attractive and intelligent person. And the third, you actually hear the person, not only what he said, but what he meant, at a deeper level of mind. Try it once and see. Number 3, question for clarification. Never assume that you know exactly what the person meant by what he said. Instead, help him to expand on his most recent remark by asking, "How do you mean?" or "What do you mean exactly?" Here is one of the most important rules of communication. The person who asks the question has control. The person answering the question is controlled by the person asking them. And when a person is speaking in answer to the question, fully 100% of his focus and attention is on what he is saying. He cannot think of anything else. He is totally controlled by a questioner. And the trick to charming people, someone with this technique, is to ask your question thoughtfully. All great communicators know this and use it regularly. Number 4, feed it back. Paraphrase in your own words. This is the acid test of effective listening, the proof that you were really paying attention instead of engaging in the phony listening that is so common today. When a person finishes speaking, you pause and say something like, "Oh, sorry, you just did this, and that has happened, and you decide to do that, right?" Only when the speaker confirms that's what he said and mean to you continue, either by asking other questions or commenting on what just been said. Why women are wonderful listeners. In general, women are excellent listeners already. When a woman communicates according to MRI scans, fully 7 centers of her brain are involved. In men, it is only 2. Men often listen half-heartedly to women, especially if the television is on. That's because men can only process on one sensory input at a time. They cannot, for example, both watch television and listen to someone else speaking, which one can do much more easily. And the worst thing a man can commit with a woman in his life is not to listen to her when she is speaking. Every man has heard the woman accuse us angrily, "You are not listening to me." The typical man response is to quickly say, "Yes, I am." Then she has you. She folds her arms and asks demandingly, "Alright then, what did I just say?" It is only if he can feed it back to her with some accuracy that she knows for sure that he was really listening. For you to become a completely charming person, you must learn to master the technique of listening, especially if you are a man. Developing this key skill will take discipline and determination at first, but it will become easy and automatically over time. Listening with a difference. Effective listening means listening with a difference. It's not the "lend me your ear and I will tell you a story" type of listening. Rather, it's about convincing people you are totally involved in what is being said. Run on charming people by listening to them. I remember once watching a friend of mine who was the hostess of a party. She was chatting with a great animation to someone unfamiliar to me, and when he left, she crossed over to me and said, "Do you know Roger Pitt, that delightful man I was just talking to?" I didn't. Well, he is one of the most charming people I ever met, and what a great conversationalist, intelligent, articulate, and amusing. You must meet him. Inwardly I smiled. "A great conversationalist, intelligent, articulate, and amusing," she said. "Well, while I was watching he rarely seemed to utter more than a word or two, but he was, I noticed, a great listener, and it's so being he absolutely charmed his hostess." Your tools for charming others. Try this effective listening technique. Listening, pausing, asking thoughtful questions, and paraphrasing. One at a time. Begin by practicing attentive listening at home and at work, and make no attempt to interruption. Just hang on to the other person every word. Practice controlling and directing the conversation by using this various technique, and you will discover you can communicate more deeply with a person in a few minutes by asking questions and listening closely to the answer than you could in several weeks by talking all the time. Chapter 6. Charming a Woman. Men and women are different in ways other than the obvious. One of the most important applications of charm is to be sensitive and attractive to the women in your world. Women love men who are charming. They want to be with them constantly. To be charming to women, you have to understand how they think and feel. You must then say and do the things that affect them emotionally if you want them to like you. Most women's primary source of personal value and self-esteem comes from the quality of their relationship. With the important people in their life, they place an even higher emphasis than men on outward appearance and on how well they are perceived and treated by others. 3 deep needs of every woman. The most powerful and important emotional needs of most women are affection, attention, and respect. They judge other people by their caring and concern for them and by their confidence and competence in the world. They can see past external appearance and look into the heart of the person they are talking to. The way to charm a woman is by being totally 100% captivated by her as a person and by every word she says without interrupting or stopping her flow of conversation. Just as 2 young people in love sit and look into each other's eyes. So, should you allow yourself to be completely, totally fascinated by the woman you are talking to and whom you want to charm? Talk less and listen more. A comedian once said, "I love going to my therapist and I get to talk nonstop about myself for an hour. It's like I'm on a first date." This is all too true. Instead, the next time you are with a woman you care about, resist for the overwhelming temptation to talk about yourself, as if your day was the most fascinating even since Jesus walked the earth. Rather, ask her questions about herself and her day, about her love and her concerns, and then listen quietly and attentively to the answers. She will find you to be charming. Brian not listening and questioning. Some years ago, when I was a bachelor, I took an attractive young woman out to dinner. Throughout the dinner, I asked her a question about herself. At a certain point, she opened up and told me about a particular sad thing that had happened to her. I was moved by her pain at recalling the event that I winced. I'm so sorry that happened to you, I said. And I really mean it. We sat there silently for a couple of minutes while I held her hand and allowed her to just relax in my presence with no comment. It was just the beginning of a fulfilling relationship, and my genuine concern for her feeling and her experience created a powerful bond between us. To impress or to be impressed. When you are with a woman you want to charm, instead of talking about yourself and trying to impress her, be impressed by her. Ask her questions, talk to her about her hopes and concerns, her background, her goals and her desire. Talk and listen as if you find her to be the most fascinating person you ever met. And the more you are impressed by her ideas and opinions, her character and personality, the more impressed she will be with you, and she will find you to be absolutely charming. Your tools for charming others. Select a woman in your life, or maybe if you are a woman who listens to this audiobook, you can select a man too. At work or at home, and imagine that she or he is the most interesting and fascinating person you have ever met. Treat her or him with extreme courtesy and respect, and hang on her or him every word. Ask questions, listen closely to the answer, and see how long you can encourage her to speak without interrupting or talking about yourself. And the next time you meet women you like, practice the same skills of acceptance, appreciation, and approval. Ask her about her work and personal life, and find something to be impressed about or even to be amazed by. And the wonder of this behavior is that the more you practice them, the more interesting and fascinating you will truly find her to be. And she will think of you as being unusually